So I will die on this hill. I will defend the live music. Give me a wedding band over a DJ. I will defend this hill for as long as I live.
We were talking earlier in the week about live music at bars, as opposed to a DJ, and then you jumped in with the wedding. See, to me, these are two different conversations. At a bar, I'm good with a live band, but at a wedding, give me the DJ.
It has to be a good live band, though.
Yes.
Well, yes, obviously.
It doesn't matter.
It has to be a good DJ, too.
There's no band.
No, but a DJ can play whatever song he wants to play or she wants to play.
I've been to weddings where it's, you know.
Right, but if you have a live band that is not capable of playing all the songs that you want to hear, then that's a bad live band.
Exactly. No, not that's.
There are good and bad of both of these. Can we just focus on what we prefer?
No. Let's start with this. Focus. Let's just assume we're talking about good versions, right? A good live band, a good DJ. We're not talking about the guy who doesn't know what he's doing. We don't talk about the band that sounds terrible. These are good. But even the best live band can't play every song. They don't know it. They don't know the rhythms, the tunes, the lyrics. A DJ can never let you down. As long as he's got an internet connection, he's always got every song.
How do you feel about like a hybrid situation? Like there's this place down here. I don't know if they still do it because I haven't been in a long time, but there's this place down here called Ball and Chain. And on like Friday nights or Saturday nights, they have a DJ that's there. And then what I assume is the DJ's grandfather, but I don't know, who is there playing the drums next to the DJ along with some of the songs. So like the song will come and then he'll get into it and he'll hit the drums and then he'll hit a cowbell from time to time. And like it's a crazy environment when that guy's there. He leaves a little early because again, he's like in his 80s probably, if he's still with us. I haven't been there in a while, but I like the hybrid situation.
If you're interested in this old man banging a drum, you would love a goddamn live band.
You would love Dead & Company.
Okay, why haven't we played the white guy sounder yet?
Thank you.
How dare you? How dare you racialize my preferences for live music?
Pablo, there's not a black man in America who will agree with you. That's why.
The Roots?
They'd rather have a DJ too.
Aren't you part of a live karaoke league?
Yeah. You know what we don't have in the karaoke league? A live band.
Well, you are the live
band, Amin.
There's music being played. What are you guys, high or something? There's a DJ playing the music.
I'm team DJ as well. I think the margin for error is much smaller with a DJ who's got a good set list. I think you got to tell the DJ ahead of time, don't play that goddamn Sweet Caroline BS at my party. And everything else, like, just feel out the vibes of the crowd.
Doesn't it depend where you are, though? Like in the Keys, I would like a live band, not a DJ.
But every bar, Stu, every single bar you walk into?
If I'm a bar in the Keys, I'm going to get a DJ because like everyone else has live music. So now I can give this audience.
No, but the Keys are all about, it's live music.
Yeah,
it's part of the reason you go there.
More the vibe.
It's like going to Nashville and being like, I don't want to hear a singer, a country singer.
What are you eating?
What do you?
Yeah.
Overnight.
That's why I don't go to Nashville. Like this is ridiculous. Like
exactly. Maybe it's just not for you.
Yeah, I'm not. You guys asked me to come in here so I can like try to convince rabbits that carrots are gross.
He said this is the most too American ever.
Yeah, it is. This is stupid. Like that. There is no circumstance in which I would choose a live band. So if we're talking live music, we're not talking about the Roots or an actual successful band.
You haven't heard Johnny and the Demons.
The Dirty Harrys.
Okay, does Johnny and the Demons, can they play Pound Town if I ask them to? No, they can't.
Exactly.
They
and
can't.
if you are at a
DJ
reception and you trying to have a good time,
internet.
I just don't understand what type of receptions or parties you're going to. Pablo, you're saying at a reception you don't want at any point for the 99 and the 2000.
Boom, 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 boom.
He's got you there. That's different, though. It's a party.
Girl, you look good. You back that ass up.
These good live bands, a good wedding band can cover Mystical.
No, yes, you're right.
And it's amazing.
Cover who?
Mystical.
I just
Get out of here.
I just got word in my
See ya.
ear that Carl disagrees with Domonique and Amin.
Thank you.
You
Bring
gotta
Carl
go.
in here.
You have to go, Pablo. You cannot.
yeah,
You cannot do
Mystical?
that. And get
2
away
minutes.
with it.
2
See
minutes.
ya.
Juvenile.
2 minutes. No,
I deserve that.
I'm surprised you don't know Juvenile just did that NPR thing.
And then Googled it?
I just think the problem here is that Tony
Send Carl
went
in.
to a place that is famous for a thing that he went
Sure.
there and doesn't like, and maybe it just wasn't the right place
But
for this group of guys.
That's why I'm zeroing in on weddings, because weddings is a situation
And that was the original statement that Pablo made.
Yeah.
Weddings, but listen, guys, everyone slow down. Weddings, you want a DJ. Yes, I agree. But when you go to the Keys, you want live music, of course.
Okay, so if there is a place where it is better off with live music, that ain't a place for me. Because I have never walked into anywhere where some random dude is playing a guitar and singing and be like, hell yeah, this is where I need to be. It ain't for me, which is fine. That's why I don't know I'm here. It's a ridiculous conversation to have. It ain't for me. I shouldn't be in here.
Carl?
Look, you guys are underestimating a good cover band.
Yep.
Flat out.
My man.
It's great for 3 songs.
Back to the penalty box.
Yes, like I'm good. I heard
this is not a good cover band if you're saying they can
Bruce
only cover 3 songs.
All right, we're
Carl,
cool. Like, let's go.
Here's my issue. There's no way even the best cover band doesn't have a catalog as rich as any DJ with an internet connection.
That's fair, but you guys are acting as if every DJ is a good DJ.
No,
like you
we
haven't
started-
been
that's
to a
true.
party
If
where
they have
just
internet.
pick
We
horrible songs.
We started with the premise.
You don't have to have a good DJ.
We started with the premise of assuming
Go out
the
for a
DJ
night in
is good.
Miami. You'll hear some bad DJs.
We started with the premise that the DJ is good, the band is good. The band can never match a DJ's catalog. Never in a million years.
But it's just about quality. To me, it's about quality.
It's
as
not,
long
though.
as you're up,
I'm
shaking
sorry,
your
Carl.
ass,
I'm
you
sorry,
have
Carl.
delivered.
You're right. But there is something about when the first note of Poison hits, you cannot recreate that with anybody else. When it hits, when the first note of a song that you want to hear hits, people get up. There is not a wedding in the history of the world where when you hear, girl, you look good, everybody don't get up. And your grandmama twerking in the middle of the floor. She is not doing that to no guitar.
Guitar.
My
But
grandma
what makes
does
you
twerk it to
believe?
Tom Jones's guitar, FYI.
Let's start there. But also,
I
what
have
makes you
videos.
believe that there's no band that a guy's going to get up and say, Cash Money taking over for the 99 and the 2000s?
I don't want to hear some
and
guy say
it's a rap.
I don't. So that's the thing. I want to hear Julie. I want to hear that New Orleans twang. I don't want some white dude to get on there and say, "Hey, God, now we're taking over for 99 in the 2000s."
See,
I don't care how
this is
well
my
they play.
point. Like, why is this always like some kind of like
Why is the band
country
always
band?
white? Now back to the penalty box.
like
he's
the Avid brothers playing? Like,
because
what are we doing?
Because he's playing a guitar.
Where does a dueling piano band, dueling piano bar work into
I
this?
hate those places.
Would never
Come on,
been that
we'll take your requests
Not
up
wrong
here in the
there.
jar.
Yeah,
We'll take your requests up here in the
dueling.
bar.
I mean, what are you doing? No one cares.
Not wrong there.
Just don't play Sweet Caroline and I'm happy.
Yeah, that one's a
DJ,
big,
band, get out of here.
Look, man, like that DJ, not so much. Band, they love playing Sweet Caroline. They love, you know why? Because bands love interaction from the crowd. So they're like,
It's an easy song to sing. Yeah.
oh my God, no,
Right.
They just put the microphone out there and everybody
Right.
sings the
You
song.
don't have to do anything. How about do your job? I mean,
Yeah.
Exactly.
seriously.
Play Freebird.
Exactly.
Right.
Play Freebird. What?
A 7-minute guitar
I got
solo.
in Lucy's car this morning and she was playing Steely Dan. The Dan.
love him. I love the Dan.
Dan.
Steely Dan. Love him.
That's quality.
Steely Dan gargles my balls.
No way that there's a live band out there properly covering Pound Town, as my man Amin
So
pointed
let's
out.
start
so
there.
like current music, when it hits, it hits.
Yeah, man.
Like, I would like to have all of the Avengers there. I don't want you to come in and say, "Hey, let me look at my catalog. Oh, we got Spidey, we got Thor. Ooh, we got a little bit of I don't know Iron Man." No, give me all of them. I want Black Widow from time to time. Give me Black Panther.
Let's start with who the hell is going to a wedding and saying, "Hey, throw that Pound Town on."
Hey, man. Been some crazy
No,
weddings recently.
You don't need them to ask for it. The DJ plays it.
No, this is the thing. This is the reason why you guys aren't right, in my opinion, because it only works by virtue of you DJing on this for the DJ.
So
Hey,
okay,
go
okay,
play this song.
We're
Hey,
saying,
go play this song.
We're saying the best versions of both is the point.
Yeah.
If we want to do so, if we take it out of the best versions of both, you lost immediately.
No, this
If
is
we're
why
saying
this
the
wants
best
to be.
versions of both, we win. If we say the worst versions of both, we win because
Yeah.
at least between the changes of songs, we'll hear good songs.
No, the reason why the best versions doesn't work because you guys are always leaning on the idea of saying, "Hey, can you have to request the song." Not
don't
the
have
DJ
to.
being good. You got to run up to him and make him good.
You're not listening, Carl. We're saying a good DJ is one that we do not have to request these things for.
He
And
knows.
a good
She
cover
knows.
band does the exact
No,
same.
and we're saying a
play
good
every song.
But the
good-
DJ does it better because it's the actual song.
One, it's the actual
But-
song, and two,
cares about
there's
that?
no song that the DJ won't
But
have.
everybody cares about it. That's the whole reason why there's a music industry. What do you mean, who cares about it?
I have
the
never
people who do
seen
it
you-
best get paid because they do it best. It's like saying, oh, who cares about the NBA? People hooping out in the street. Let's go watch it. It's the same thing. You want to go watch pickup basketball, and I want to see LeBron.
See, no, I can't fall for that. Simply because you said yourself, we're not talking about the Roots. And why would you choose the Roots? Because they can play every song at the same level or better than the originals.
Here's a hot
The
take.
Roots are great.
Every wedding should have.
Get out of here.
Every wedding should have both.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah, hold on,
options,
no.
huh?
Carl, I concede.
Expensive.
If you can get the Roots to play your wedding, get the Roots to play your wedding. Argument over.
Look, I'm just representing for the black delegation that would say that a cover band would work out on in a good
Well, I imagine that all 13 black people that listen to this show are going to fire up the tweets and tell you how wrong you are, Carl. Juju, get his ass.
I need Juju to chime in right now and say respectfully, salute to you, my brother, but and then
Where is he?
fill in the blank after that. Juju's working, man. He's working hard.
This is no longer for the show because I imagine we don't have the rights to any of these things. But during the break, I would like you to find me a YouTube video of a live band that is just crushing it, and I will find
It costs
you
money to involve me.
versions.
I charge for it.
Oh, he's here. I will provide you plenty of versions of when a beat drops, anything off the Chronic. When it drops, it changes the mood at the wedding, and you don't got that with your tambourine. I'm sorry.
I'm done with you discrediting this band. You just keep picking the worst bands, harmonicas,
Okay.
accordions.
Your bass drum
He's
cannot
picking the best
recreate
instruments for his argument.
Your bass drum
Genius.
cannot recreate an 808. Like it's entirely different.
the 808.
This is absurd. You trying to tell me that I want to hear some random live band give me some Rick Ross? No. It could never happen. You want a milli? You want a live a milli? No. I hate you.
Rose?
Why does Domonique have my wedding band playing didgeridoos? What am I arguing against here?
You're not arguing against
Sousaphones,
anything.
bagpipes.
I admitted at the top of this that this was a waste of time because once you see,
Vuvuzelas.
I've Vuvuzela might
A
not
mean
sound-
slide whistle. That's
That's
pretty
a
good.
Vuvu. That's a good vuvu. I established
That was
a
a
while ago
didgeridoo.
that and I tend to have this rule in my life is that there's a certain level of understanding that I have to have with someone in order to have a conversation or a debate with them. Once you said what you said, I knew that it was a waste of time. Like I mentioned, it's like trying to argue with a rabbit that carrots are gross. No, that's your thing. If live bands is your thing, it's a waste of time conversation because I can't get through to your crazy self.
But I think there's a logic behind our argument that's not aesthetics. It's literally
Unassailable.
Your argument is in favor of selecting whatever you want on the planet.
I'm not saying selecting. I'm saying selection. Whether I'm doing the selecting or the DJ is doing the selecting, he has or she has an endless catalog of music, whereas the live band has to learn how to play it and learn the lyrics. So if there's a song that's come out in the last month, the chances of even the best live band knowing that song to play it well, know the lyrics, get it down pat, is extremely slim.
And also deliver the lyrics in a way that is enjoyable and not embarrassing. And there's a reason why different people do different types of music. I don't want to hear Drake doing Rick Ross songs because they don't deliver the same. It just doesn't work. I don't want to hear Rakim trying to do some Megan Thee Stallion. It doesn't work. But I'm down with hearing all these people individual songs.
I just realized what you guys are. You're a bunch of goddamn musical Samuel Alitos. You're originalists. All you want is the original text. And I'm here for the spirit of the law.
That was a terrible.
Who is that meant for?
Literally me. And I hated it.
It's damn.
When you guys have
I'm trying to compensate from
How
confusing
dare you.
mystical and juvenile.
when you have your live bands, do you want your live band to do a version as close to the original song as possible, or you just be you and do your version of the
Spirit
song?
of the law. This is my point. I want an artistic interpretation of a song I like, which I've heard in that form 1 million times before.
there's a reason why you've heard it a million times because you like it.
Cause that slap.
Exactly.
I cannot argue against music
Now-
being good. This is not an argument.
So
I'm gonna
why
have.
are you arguing against it?
I'm not.
I mean, you kind of are. You're like, I know this is an amazing version, but can you give me your shitty interpretation of it? That's what you're saying.
It's also like,
Hey, person who is willing to do weddings because your music career is
How
not
dare you.
wildly successful.
How dare
Hey,
Perform for
individual
me,
who-
dance for
yeah,
me,
like,
sing for me.
Yes, go perform a better song, a better version of the song by people who actually have had success in the music industry.
Millions of copies sold.
You classist motherfuckers.
Just saying, man.
We don't have people performing for us.
Yeah,
Nope.
You got you there.
My take was that you should have both. I think that was probably the most
No,
classist.
I'll tell you something that, yeah, exactly. this money bag's over here. Well, let them eat cake.
I've never had a wedding, so I have no idea how much these things cost.
Billy,
lot.
I've been to the places where, like, there's a DJ and then there's a person with a live instrument. I've had saxophone. You ever had that one? Guy comes out with a saxophone.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
But it's incredible because the original version of the song is playing. And then this is just kind of like on top of it.
Amplifying.
The sax
it.
guy also does a little too much sometimes.
Sometimes.
Hey, the song's not about you, buddy.
Gets a little look
The
at me,
song's not
Louis,
about you.
sometimes, yeah, for sure. Sometimes they gotta reel it back in, but I do enjoy that. But the idea of saying, hey, you know what, DJ, why don't you sit this one out? Sax man has it from here. Nah, man. I
So
can't get with
I
that.
think that also the problem is, what is your goal for your reception? And maybe you guys have been to different receptions, but reception is supposed to devolve into a real like nightclub
Dance
party
Dance party.
experience.
Dance
I want to
party.
dance.
Okay, so name the cracking ass nightclub that has a live band. That's not.
I mean, you're
they have
literally arguing
DJs.
against concerts now. You're saying concerts
see,
can't have
the
dance
thing-
parties?
The thing is, a concert has the people that
made this
actually are getting paid
So this-
millions
I
of
get it,
dollars
I
to
get it.
perform it.
It's about condescending towards
It's
the
not.
working
listen,
musician. I
listen,
understand.
Listen, Pablo.
They should have a union, these musicians. I wonder who
Listen,
could lead
Pablo.
it for them.
No, and you know what the union head, if I was executive director of their union, I would say, you know what? We got to stop doing weddings, guys. It's a bad look.
You're turning my wedding band into goddamn Derrick Henry.
Hey, guys, you know what? You know Derrick Henry? He lives in Nashville. Let's all go there because they seem to like this foolishness.
This is one of the worst arguments you've tried to make in your life, man.
Live music, good. Yeah.
You guys are being
Real
so
tough.
absolute that there aren't
But
any
listen,
good bands out there
listen.
at weddings.
You
That's
said-
wild.
You said that I'm arguing against concerts. I'm not. A concert is where you buy money to see specific people, and your reason why you are there is not to dance, but to watch them perform on the stage. A wedding or a club or a party is where you are there to dance with each other. If you are able to get the roots, I concede. You can get the roots, then by all means. But the roots are not playing your funky ass wedding.
I mean, not with that attitude, they're not.
With that budget either.
Facts.
Well, Pablo has a 2-2, so.
It's a 2-2?
2 baths.
Damn.
Wow.
Money bags.
I thought it was just 2 bedroom. I didn't know 2 baths. Wow.
It's one ensuite.
Yes.
Oh, so you don't even have to leave your
How many closets?
bedroom?
How many closets? Oh, I'm so scared.
Walk in.
Oh, he has to count his
counted
head.
in his
Oh my
mind.
god.
He's using his fingers.
Your daughter
yeah.
has a walk-in?
My daughter has better closets than I do.
Closets.
So the most recent episode of How To with John Wilson, which we referenced earlier this week, deals with the noise level in New York, essentially, and he eventually goes to a place in West Virginia, which is supposed to be the quietest place on Earth, and people with electromagnetic hypersensitivity go there to escape Wi-Fi and electronics and all these things that they say make them sick. But while he's in New York talking to people that live in noisy apartments, one of the funniest scenes that I've seen in this show, he is talking to these 2 young men who live in an apartment right next to the Myrtle Broadway stop on the, I guess that's the 7? I don't know which train is that, Pablo? I don't know. I haven't been in New York in a while, but they're right next to a train, a subway above ground. Yep, thank you for the verbal acknowledgement.
You.
They're right next to the subway tracks, and the train is going past their window, and they can see out onto the platform, and they're like eye level with people getting on and off the train. So that should give you some indication of how loud it is. And John Wilson asks them, do you think you got a discount on your rent because of how loud it is? And the guy goes, yeah, I think we got really lucky. And that is what renting an apartment in New York City is like.
It is.
That's the sound of the train going by.
That was really kind of you, Amin. No, I'm serious. I appreciate that.
Some people don't know.
Yeah.
Because they live in West Virginia and it's like electromagnetic stuff.
Oh no, I was saying what you did for Jess was really kind of you. Because Jess took us on a long journey.
Up to 7 train or maybe.
Why would
Maybe
anyone
not,
want to
I
hear
don't
the
know.
sound of a train when they could just hear Amin do the sound of a
Exactly.
train?
It's a great show. Everyone should watch it.
It's excellent, actually. Yeah.
Pablo is the only person who has also seen it, which is why I thought he would, have some.
I had nothing
back and
for you on the
forth
train,
during
though.
that.
Yeah, I got nothing.
The point is, living in New York, very difficult, very noisy, very hard.
I mean, you don't miss anything about New York, living in New York?
I miss a lot of stuff. I miss
love this. Amin loves the smell of subway grates.
Oh my God.
But this is why Pablo is a king, because he's got a tutu with several closets.
Yeah.
While people are like, yeah, we're lucky we live next to a literal subway stop. Because we get a discount on our rent.
Yeah, see? No, it's not ringing a bell.
Mind playing tricks on me?
No, I think if you play it,
man, it's better. Yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Is like I was attempting to recreate the Ghetto
I hate
Boys.
you guys.
When you know what will be better?
The Ghetto Boys.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a thought. That'd be
But
dope.
what if you can't afford them?
This is thing called recording industry where they record people performing and then
Wait, you mean they don't have to sing it live every single time?
No, that's antiquated.
You know
We're
what I
past
just
that,
realized?
guys. We're
But
past that.
only certain people would be able to play that, right?
No. Everybody.
You know what would be even better?
Democratize
You know what would be even better than listening to you guys try to have a conversation is playing a recording of a better conversation.
That would be a good idea.
This one has kind of gone its path.
International Players Anthem? You nuts, Pablo.
You say that no wedding band
National
can
anthem?
cover UGK?
They better not. And congratulations.
I had to sneak that in.
You just had to
I'm
sneak it in.
rebuilding my
So,
credibility one
what's-
bedroom at a time.
What's the best verse on that song? It's easy. It's easy.
I feel like every answer I give is going to be the wrong answer.
No, it's only one answer. It's only one answer.
It's the
the one
earliest
you're
one.
thinking.
Yeah.
It's let him off the hook, guys, because he doesn't know any of
It's
the
the
verses.
first one.
He doesn't even know the verses.
You think I don't know
Get him
the
started
first
on it.
verse
Get him started.
to International Players Anthem?
So I typed a text. Remember that?
Yes.
To a girl I used to see.
Yes.
Then I CC'd every girl.
That CC round town.
Oh, it's such a great verse. That's the one.
I know the song.
He doesn't know what you're talking about.
You're saying I have no idea what International Players Anthem is.
Yeah.
No, we're not saying that. We're saying that you heard it and you tried to flex your blussels.
Hold on.
With UGK.
I know what's going
on.
Hold on. I know what's going on.
Insult.
I know what's going on
every
here.
level.
I know what's going on here. You guys are judging him and expecting him to know what verse you're talking about when every time he's heard it, it's been a live band playing.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Andre 3000. He starts it. It's before the song even starts. And apparently, who was the one who produced the song? It was
Project
3-6. Yeah. No, it wasn't Project Pat.
It was.
I think
It was
Juicy. It was Juicy J.
Yeah.
Juicy J was upset because Andre put his verse in before the beat drop, and Juicy was
Yeah,
like,
I
nah.
saw that YouTube video.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Pablo, the thing is, if you had yes and did what I was saying, we could have segued this entire conversation that is now humiliating you again.
I have not been humiliated. I just refuse to be a pawn in a conversation which I have to prove my cultural.
I am not owned. Do not write that I was owned.
fides.
Nah, you have no
I am not a
blussels.
corn cob.
We've established you have tiny blussels.
How dare you?
The live version just kind of plays instruments for the whole intro there, and then the lead singer poorly does the Pimp C verse. My bitch is choosy.
You know what I feel like?
Like it on
You
top
know what
of
I
the
feel
covers.
like? I feel like a bit of an island. Not a peninsula, maybe.
No, man, it's an island.
Is that enough?
That's close. I'll
You're
give
getting
you credit.
close.
You
One
get
more,
credit. I give you
like
credit.
one more
Why
bar.
am I being quizzed by First off, for the audience, Domonique and Tony are both standing
Greg
desking
Cody.
this.
I'm not gonna
It's
take a quiz.
Very intense.
Oh man, I'm proud of you, Pablo. Good job, buddy.
Thanks, Domonique. Do you want me to name all of the black people in that wedding band I hired?
Whoa!
Oh man, let's just sit here and let him soak in that.
Makes no sense. I know
Is
crazy.
Is it like Amir and
Yeah, Black Thought.
Black Thought?
Questlove.
Yeah. Amir, yeah. We call him Amir. I feel obligated to promote the Domonique Foxworth show.
Don't.
Starring Domonique Foxworth.
I do not. I am not out here begging like you. That's not something
No,
I believe in.
but my
I'd
bitch
make
a
a good
choosy
show.
lover.
So you've been reading lyrics in between?
That's what you think I've been doing.
Yes.
Never without a rubber.
I just make a good show, and people talk about it. I interview Kurt Warner. That's
It's really
pretty
good. It's actually really good.
Yeah, and people will find it. I don't need you promoting it. I don't need signs.
I do need
Moving on. I
signs.
don't need QR codes.
www.pablo.show.
You know why you need signs? Because you don't have a damn show.
False. Well, I have a trailer now.
Yeah, your show's not out.
September 5th, 2023.
All right. Are we done with that yet?
www.pablo.show.
I got the money.
Are you worried about the abbreviation of your show?
PTFO.
Yeah.
Because it stands for...
PF. No bleeps. Out.
Yeah. A little bit now. A little bit now.
Was that
I mean,
on purpose?
yes,
'Cause
like
you're
the whole
stoner guy.
the whole sort of implication is I'm f***ing around and finding out. I am in fact passing the f*** out. These are all illusions I'm making to undercut the fact that I'm a guy who compared people to Samuel Alito in an argument.
I just realized that my show acronym, I've never used it before, but it's Daily Fantasy some PFS. Or PF. Yeah, PFS. Isn't that like Daily Fantasy
DFS?
Sports? I mean, PF, I'm thinking.
We'd have to know what your show's called. To...
DFS.
The Domonique Foxworth show. It's kind of easy to remember.
Wow. Someone's getting frisky.
I just realized Golic and Smetty's initials are gas.
That's dope.
That's pretty good.
I like
Yeah.
it.
I'm going to put that on a hat.
I like it. Gas.
Also, like, my co-host is 60, so it could be taken as, like, we have gas. Like,
Flatulence?
for gas bags.
I just want to talk about how hot your co-host is every time you mention him. I'll be honest.
It's pretty hot. I've talked to him a bunch about whenever we talk, it's about union stuff because he was active in the union, and he's one of the guys who has had success post-career, so he's connected with the guys who didn't quite make the money but made the sacrifices, but he's in a I got the money, don't worry about it. But he's in a better situation than most of them, so it's interesting to have the conversation with him. He's a lot more level-headed, I think. But if we're being honest about it, we talked about this a little bit earlier in the week. When you are like a pioneer and you are making the sacrifices and you're pushing forward something, in this case, it's like free agency or player rights and player health insurance and pensions and all that stuff. No one who is pushing for those things ever benefits from them, and you don't know that when you're doing it.
Right.
And whose responsibility is it, or is it the responsibility of the current membership to reach back and address the inequities?
This is one of the most fascinating parts about the job you used to do and the job you still care about, obviously, which is that you need to want things in your capacity as union leader more than the people who you are trying to persuade want it for themselves.
And the real challenging thing about the idea of giving back, which we always did, but it's never quite enough, is we are being, frankly, the current players are operating under a salary cap system and operating under a rookie pay system that is reducing their salary. So they still are not fully, many of them still aren't fully realizing their value. And they deserve that and more. But then to ask them to make concessions to give back feels wrong. But to not acknowledge that the people who like endured the pain to get you here also feels wrong. But the same problem doesn't exist on the other side, because you know what? If I sacrifice now, if I own my team for 40 years, if I sacrifice now, you know who's going to benefit? Me. And if I don't benefit, you know who's going to benefit? My son or daughter who takes on the team. It goes to the crux of the issue with unions, I guess everywhere, but particularly in sports, is there's a real power asymmetry. And so many people who talk about capitalism or talk about sports unions, they wipe their hands of the inequity by saying, well, they collectively bargained it, without acknowledging that they're weight classes for a reason, and we're not in the same weight class, despite the fact that we're expected to fight for the same things. And then we're supposed to say, well, you negotiated for it. No, we use what leverage and power that we had in a situation to get what we could get. It doesn't mean it's fair. But if we throw you in a room with someone who's twice your size and MMA trained and say, the winner of this gets $1 million, and you get your ass kicked, and then you're upset because you can't feed your family, you say, hey, you fought for it. And no one's ever going to accept that as a possibility. But in these cases, they're like, I heard this with the running back
It's
things all the
collectively
time.
bargained.
Yeah, you bargained for it. This is what you negotiated for. Take it.
You entered the ring.
And you hope that like the next agreement fixes some of those problems, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the power swings back and forth. And you mentioned like sports unions. I've been part of 2 non-sports team unions or sports league unions that have the exact same problems. And I found that a lot of the attitudes that people have from it just comes from like general public misinformation, distrust, and just attitudes about something that has not been as popular in our generation as it was like 2 generations ago. And it's super unfortunate. It's why I think it's super important to talk about it openly and to have former players especially be like honest about what the whole thing's about. Because people just like, I just think that there's so much misinformation out there, and I think that's super intentional.
Yeah. Well, I also think that it's kind of the only venue where America actually will even hear these conversations.
Yeah.
I mean, the strike in Hollywood is a recent example, but in general, annually, the place you hear about labor issues is in sports.
I mean, it all goes back to kind of the con of capitalism, I guess, in some ways, because we all are guilty of it in some ways, where we accept the belief that it's meritocratic, like the world, and like if you haven't reached success, you know how you can reach that success. Work harder.
Try harder, yeah.
Maybe you should pull on those bootstraps.
Yeah, and which is absurd. And also the idea that a handout is like something you should be ashamed of and that no one should take, like having judgment for people who like participate in any government subsidies, like something wrong with them. They failed in some way, but like that's the whole point of a society. And I think society at large, I think you're right, the microcosm for society is sports, but it's really hard when the athletes that we talk about most are both wealthier than most of us,
yes,
and blacker than most of the people who are watching it. I think that like complicates it also. When you're looking, you're like, hey, this 25-year-old has more money than I had when I was 25, so bleep him. And then you end up somehow aligning yourself with someone else in this equation who is not at all like you and doesn't care about you.
Right. I mean, there's always the aspect of the messenger being a very conveniently unrelatable messenger in all of those ways. It's also convenient to declare, as you're a person who is sort of, championing the outcome of this being fair because of a collectively bargained process. It's convenient to say this is how capitalism works, when a lot of the collective bargaining results in the winners negotiating socialism for themselves.
Yeah, it's socialism and a monopoly. Like they're allowed to collude essentially and work as a cartel because the union exists, and that's a whole nother ball of wax. But I mean, I think societally it's important in this conversation. It's important, but it's something that won't change. And I don't know, it frustrates me and disappoints me. I don't want to take Dan's show way off.
Well, here's the place where I do want to be.
Actually, this is probably more Dan's show than anything.
It really is.
Let's talk about it.
No, Dan's show would be like, now we get a management person to come and talk about why it's bad.
Call up David Sampson so I can beat him down with my brain.
But let me ask you a question that I think reflects management thinking, because you already alluded to it. This fight is never going to be fair. And so the idea that running a union is anything but getting into a ring to be body slammed by a giant, why should there be optimism? Like, why is this a worthwhile pursuit given that that's the end game?
Well, because it's the only course you have. And I think if we talk about like the death of upward mobility in America, it's a similar thing where we convince ourselves, and with the players, all the players are of the belief that it's going to work out for them. And it worked out for me, barely. But for most players, it does not work out for them. And we don't hear those stories, but I've talked to you plenty of times about this, where there's so many times in my life, from the time I was like in the 8th grade all the way to the time that I signed my second contract, I made decisions that narrowed my possibility for success. So the major I chose in college is an example of it. The activities that I chose to do in the off season or in spring or in summer is an example of it. Like the school that I chose to go to is an example of those, all examples. And then choosing to go and play for the Broncos when I got drafted them and not starting a job somewhere else is an example of it. So it's narrowing your opportunities. And for most people, after 4 years, your league minimum salary goes up. And at that point, if you haven't distinguished yourself as above average, like worth the price, they'll go get someone again who's cheaper. And then you are put out in the world with a couple $100,000, which is nothing to sneeze at, but no relevant experience to do anything, no relationships, no understanding of this. Like, you have the skills that will allow you to be a bouncer. And then, like, when you were supposed to be taking stats in college, you weren't taking stats because you didn't have to, and that would make it harder for you to be eligible. And so it's just a tough situation, and no one ever feels sorry for the players. Not that they should feel sorry for the players, but it's tough for me to look at that situation and then look at how our country operates and not understand how people can't see who they are in this situation. It's like, you're the same.
We are a nation of running backs that believes that we're owners.
Yes, I was going to say quarterbacks, but you're right.
We are. The story of every business is replaceability.
It's this brass ring that's like, you got to get to that second contract. You're going to be a superstar. We all think we're going to be superstars.
Correct.
Most of them are not. And it's the same thing out here in the world. It's like everyone is like, don't worry. Let's keep those taxes low on billionaires because one day I'm gonna be that billionaire. No,
it's kind. You know what it reminds me of? It kind of reminds me how deep down I think we all kind of think if we were to get into like a car crash, we would like somehow ninja barrel roll our way out.
I mean, I would though.
He's right.
Yeah. I would put my abs up and they would deflect all the shards of glass.
Yeah.
Domonique actually does have the confidence of a person who thinks that he can escape near-death situations by just flexing out of them.
I play professional football. I perpetually escaped near-death situations.
I'm surprised
Pablo.
you actually played live football and didn't just have it on like a replay and just watch like a replay of it.
You're right. Video games. Why do we even have the NFL anymore? We should just play Madden.
So much
watch
better.
Madden. Yeah.
Remember that time we tried to play FIFA?
Well, you tried to play FIFA. I played FIFA. This man was talking. Every time Pablo, he talks about my confidence. Pablo bragged about how good he was at ping pong for years. Then we were in Boston at the Sloan Conference. I destroyed him time after time in ping pong. Then he talked about how good he was at FIFA. So we are playing FIFA in New York, his New York apartment. Well, it took us a while to figure out how to turn it on. That's a whole nother story.
That was the story I was alluding to.
Yeah, but again, destroyed him in that. Pablo, we should have a read-off. You could win that.
We were very stoned.